So much solar. This episode is going to be brought to you by Renergy, and it's brought to you by mainly the solar panels that they sent me out a little while ago and I've been talking about in the last couple videos. In order to install them, I need this out of here. And you know what? It leaks anyways. So, first things first, let's get this out.
Crashing cars, petty fights, DUIs, and thin white lines, dying young, suicide. Twitter rants, scrutiny, two-faced friends, lost custody, melting down on TMZ. What the hell is going on? Something's gone completely wrong. Always reading on the front page, feeling like there's no way I could ever be the same. If I'm honest as it is now, I wish I could feel better. I don't always feel okay. Will we be happy if we make it? Can I be happy if we don't? Will we be happy if we make it? Can I be happy if we don't? They don't seem happy when they make it. They don't seem happy if they don't. Will we be happy if we make it? Fuck, I just wanna know now. Funny how in the interviews they say they're fine, but it's never true. Putting me in such a mood. Is it worth it to even try? If the low's too low, but the high's so high. Don't wanna stop, but I'm terrified. What the hell is going on? Something's gone completely wrong. Always reading on the front page, feeling like there's no way I could ever be the same. If I'm honest as it is now, I wish I could feel better. I don't always feel okay. Will we be happy if we make it? Can I be happy if we don't? Will we be happy if we make it? Can I be happy if we don't? They don't seem happy when they make it. They don't seem happy if they don't. Will we be happy if we make it? Fuck, I just wanna know what the hell is
Alright, the panels are on the boat. It looks so cool, looks fantastic, but I am a little nervous about the screws I put in. I know that like on some of the insulation that Renergy puts out that calls for just Sikaflex or just silicone. I didn't trust just silicone to hold. I don't know why. Just like we've had pretty strong storms and the salt water and everything. I just thought the screws should go on as well. But now that also puts a bunch of extra holes in my deck that have to be caulked. So I caulked all of those with Sikaflex again. Highly suggest. Now we've got it wired up. Now before I collect the last wire, I've just logged in to my little Victron MPPT charge controller. That's what I'm trying with the port side array right now. And I have powered it on. I've logged in via Bluetooth. And I am just checking over what it's got. We've got some status stuff, and I can change some settings. Great. Oh, we're updating again. Okay. Alright, well, I've got it set up now. The panels, so that's 4 panels over on the port side, pulling in 118 watts, which, considering it has a full potential of 400 watts, it's a little over a quarter potential, which is, we're only like a few days away from the winter solstice right now. So that's pretty impressive, because my 5,400 watt array up here is pulling in, 650 watts? So it's pulling in basically a tenth of its potential power on a sunny day. Depressing, I know. But a tenth versus a quarter, I'll take that any day. These panels are of course on the sunward facing side, and they're angled a little bit more than the array is over top, which is kind of neutral on average. So yeah, there's a little bit to be considered there, but honestly these panels, I'm so impressed at how efficient they are considering they're flexible solar panels. Usually that was a thing you used to have to sacrifice on efficiency to get, you know, these kinds of panels. Now Renergy does make solid panels that are cheaper, but for marine applications, for mobile applications, if you don't have somewhere that you can set up a large array with the mounting hardware and all the complications, I think this might be your best bet. And I only really say that because I'm handling them, because I'm touching them. I've handled a lot of cheap Chinese ones. I've handled some nicer ones from some more reputable companies. These are the nicest flexible solar panels I've ever handled. I'm not the biggest expert in the world, but take that for what it's worth. I've handled maybe a dozen different flexible solar panels. These are the nicest ones. I really like the finish. That texture is amazing. We'll see how it holds up in the long run. Of course, I can be your guinea pig, but they already look and feel a lot better than the other stuff I've been handling. So I'm very happy. The other reason I've gone with this super simple solar array here is that my battery bank has BMS modules on every single one. That means when I get low voltaged and those battery banks actually cut off, in the rare circumstances that ever happens, they need a surge of juice to fire up for the first time. I want to test and see if this will actually fire up without battery voltage. So if it'll fire up on solar voltage alone. So there's only one way to find out. Let's go flick some switches. Okay, here we go. You see solar charge controllers are all turned off. Everything's turned off. All those 48 volt leads lead over here to our main switch, which is in the off position. So, honey, thank you. So what's gonna happen now is we're gonna reconnect the solar panels, and we're gonna see if that MPPT module fires up, and if it does, that means I now have a fail-safe for if I have a full battery shutdown and I'm, for instance, not on the boat. I no longer have to short jump the batteries anymore manually. It'll just happen automatically because that charge controller will fire up, give the batteries some juice, the batteries will fire up, the other charge controllers will fire up, and then the whole system will start running again. So let's see if it fires up. Amazing! We've got life! Okay, so I've got it completely disconnected from the batteries now. Let's see if I connect it to this. Will that all fire up? Yeah, so it actually has enough juice coming in here to fire up the Midnight Solars, which then connect to the main solar array. So everything's connected. Now let's just connect the batteries again. Watch out. There we go. What do you think of that? If you're building your own lithium batteries, this is probably something you're going to have to deal with at some point. There are a lot of ways to work around this. You could have your solar charge controller directly plugged in to the terminals on the battery, or you could have BMS modules that have a smart reset function. The BMS modules I have are quite basic. They're upgraded from the most basic ones, but they're still pretty basic. But I needed like 18 of them, so it's just like they were still, even at that level of basic, they're still like 50 bucks a pop. So that was like another, huge amount of money to spend. So this is a nice cheap workaround for me personally. Of course, if you get yourself a nice ready-made battery, you probably won't have this problem. For instance, Renogy puts out a couple of LifePo 4 batteries with smarter modules in them, better than what I've got. So I'm running some pretty basic modules, so this is a fun and easy workaround. And there we go, she's fired up. So everything's charging on bulk now, and man, now I don't have to ever reset my modules ever again. They can just do it on their own. How great is that? Oh, that's so good. Look at that. So much solar.